It's tempting to conclude that to deal with the acceleration of competition, all you have to do is get to the next battleground more quickly than your competitors. Certainly, Rosetta Stone has used that strategy successfully, but the challenge of shifting battlegrounds is more complex. It's not always the first who wins. Winners are the ones who understand how to turn battleground shifts into an advantage. Sometimes that means leading. Sometimes that means following. Sometimes that means staying away from the next battleground altogether. Sun Tzu outlines specific guidelines for when it's best to occupy a new battleground early or late. Like good generals, jazz musicians, and skilled comedians, outthinkers know the key is timing. Apple is one such player. Looking critically at Apple's growth and success, I think I identified Apple's playbook. One of its key plays is this pattern. To catch something, you must first let it go. That approach has become part of the company's DNA. You see, Apple is not innovative in the way most people define the term. Their brilliance comes not from introducing new cutting-edge technologies or in building new markets. Rather, they let others do that work. Then Apple steps in, expands existing technology, jumps into a market space that is already growing, and uses its marketing and business-building talent to command a large share of what others have already started creating. That's exactly what happened with the iPad, a competitor to the Kindle, the Sony Reader, and Barnes & Noble's Nook. Here is how the play works. 1. Someone tests out a new innovation. 2. This innovation should be attractive to consumers, but adoption is slow, either because customers do not understand the innovation or because another barrier in the overall system appears. 3. The initial innovator invests in changing the system, influencing consumer behavior, for example, and thereby initiating a battleground shift that will allow the innovation to succeed. 4. The system loosens and people start adopting the innovation. 5. Then another company, for example Apple, who owns critical strategic assets, steps in, draws the wind from the innovator's sails, and takes the innovation for itself. This pattern helps explain why VHS beat out Betamax, why Gatorade has an 80% market share, while Under Armour, which was born under nearly identical circumstances, commands only about 15%, and why most people say they TiVo things, but they have never actually owned TiVo because they get free DVRs from their cable providers. Apple knows when it's best to follow. It also knows when it's best to stay away from a new battleground completely. Steve Jobs famously said, "I'm as proud of what we don't do as I am of what we do." Apple's soaring profits come from just a handful of products that you could fit easily on one desk: the iPhone, Mac, iPad, iPod, and revenue from iTunes and software.